Good morning, this is Kamera again. We're on day number 80. That's 80. Judges chapter 8 and 9. We left off reading where Gideon and 300 warriors were in battle with this huge army. This army consisted of multiple nations. And so, but that's how God wanted it. God wanted those 300 to be the only ones who do that battle, which is pretty cool. He wanted to get the glory for that. And he knew that if the entire army who had originally come, which was over 32,000 warriors, had participated in the battle, then he knew they would have allowed their pride to come and play and actually believe that they won that battle because of their own strength and not God. So God wanted a small portion so that they would know that it was him who helped them win that battle. And so what Gideon did do was he called other tribes of the children of Israel. They did help later on during the battle. Ephraim helped as well. Now, we start off this reading now where Ephraim is upset. They're upset with Gideon. Gideon, you should have called us when you first started at the beginning. We would have loved to have been there to assist. Gideon's like, what you guys did it's more than what we could have possibly done. You guys killed the commanders of the army. And so, yeah, after he talked to them, appeased them, they were okay with his explanation, him comforting them about getting upset about wanting to help him. And so, Gideon, they continued their fight. They're running after the remaining army, and so they're looking for the two kings of Midian. And so during their journey, they're hungry. So they stop over at Succoth, and they're like talking to the leaders, the officials. Can you please feed my army? There's only like 300. Come on, really? And so I'm thinking there's only 300, right? So anyway, they tell Gideon, once you've caught those two kings, then we'll feed you. Until then, no, we can't help you. Gideon's like, okay, I got you. Once I kill those two kings, I will be back, and I will punish your leaders, okay, with thorns and briars. He's pretty confident that Gideon, right? I told you guys earlier, that brother there. And so as they continue their journey, Peniel was the other area that they asked for food. Same response. Gideon's like, okay, I got you. Once I'm done, I'll be back. I'm going to tear down your tower. That Gideon, like I told you guys, he is nothing to be played with. He is a tough brother, boy. He is so confident, right? And so finally they catch up with the remaining army. There's like 15,000 of them remaining. There were 120,000 warriors in that army in the beginning. Now they're down to 15. And so, yeah, he go ahead and they killed the remaining army, killed the kings. And what do you guys think Gideon did after that? That's right. Gideon went back to Succoth, and he found this guy who lived in Succoth, and he asked for the names of every last one of their officials, 77 officials. And he went back to Succoth, and he punished all 77 of them. He just punished them right there with thorns and briars. And so then he asked them, he's like, the guys who you guys killed, who were those guys? And they're like, they were just like you, kings just like you. Those were my brothers. Gideon said, those were my brothers. If you had not killed my brothers, I would have let you live. But he killed them instead because they had killed his brothers. And Gideon was nothing to be played with. And so then he went to Peniel, and he tore down their tower, like he said, and he killed every man in that town because of how they treated the children of Israel as they were in battle. Isn't that something? That Gideon was nothing to be played with. All right, so anyway, Gideon had 70 sons, over 70 sons. He had multiple wives. and he had one kid with from what I understand, with he had one concubine, and she had a son. His name was Abimelech. All right, so 40 years rest after that last battle. 40 years of rest. Okay, in the next chapter, okay, Gideon dies. In the next chapter, Shechem, Abimelech. Abimelech was the name of the one who was born through the Shechem concubine. Abimelech approaches the officials of Shechem, and he said, who would you prefer to be over you guys? Would you rather the 70 sons of Gideon, or would you rather me, who was born of your blood? Okay, I'm one of your own. So they're like, they agreed to allow Abimelech to be over them. Guess what his brother does? They gave Abimelech like 77 pieces of silver. He takes that money and he gathers him a gang of like the most reckless people, right? They go and they capture Gideon's 70 sons. And guess what they do to those 70 sons? On one rock, it says he killed his brothers. He kills his 70 brothers all on one stone. So I'm thinking he must have done it one at a time. Just came and just killed them each one at a time. And so the youngest of them all, Jotham, he escapes. It's so sad. I mean, all those people, all those men, right? And so they allow Abimelech to kill Gideon's son, Gideon, the one who helped them to overcome the oppression. So sad. Anyway, Jotham, he runs to, let me see, was it 3 years later? Oh, he finds out they made him king. And so Jotham approaches the leaders, and he's like, he speaks from, I believe, a mountain, and he calls out to Shechem and says, is this how you guys repay Gideon? Really? Gideon, when he sacrificed his life for you guys. Well, actually, he didn't die in battle, but he basically put together this army to kill off the people who oppressed you. He destroyed the Midianites. And this is how you repay him? You guys allow Abimelech to kill his sons. You guys allow Abimelech to lead you guys. And so they're like, why don't you become our king? Anyway, Jotham actually gives this parable where it involves trees, it involves grapevines, it involves olive trees. If you guys hear me, hear the Lord. Okay, you guys know what's going on with Abimelech is not all right. Allow God. Basically, the parable is like you guys are taking God out of this thing and you're allowing Abimelech into this thing. That's what I pick up from the parable. Because if you read it, just go back and read it. It's a pretty, the parable is really nice though, and it does say a lot. But to really explain it better, you really have to, it takes a little bit more time than the way I'm explaining it. But anyway, go ahead and read that parable. Don't forget, guys, this is Judges. What I'm talking about is in Judges 9. Anyway, 3 years later, these people, they start to rebel against Abimelech. Okay? And Abimelech hears that these people are revolting against him, and he goes and starts terrorizing them. They tried to, of course, fight him back, but of course, him and his men started killing them. The leaders and all, they went into this tower. First of all, he destroyed a lot of people. He flattened the city. The officials, they went into this tower. He basically have them trapped in this tower, cut down some trees, create a fire, and kill about 1,000 people in that tower. And that included the officials too. Okay, and one thing I want to point out is in the story, God does mention that, the scriptures does mention that God sent his spirit to stir up that trouble because he was angry with Abimelech and he was angry with Shechem for what they had done to Gideon. And I did forget to point out that they had, after Gideon had died, they turned their back on God. And they used the word that they prostituted Okay, so yeah, I mean they served other idols, they served other gods, and so yeah, Abimelech became a big terror to his own people, and so people running for their lives. They go into this. I believe they had like a little shelter in the wall where the entire village just ran in that wall or what have you. Abimelech, as he's trying to prepare to try and do the same thing and burn them down, this woman picks up this big millstone. And she drops it, and she drops it from the height from where she is onto his head and crushes his skull. Now Abimelech is like, he finds his armor bearer. He's like, listen, I need you to kill me. I can't let it be said that Abimelech was killed by a woman. So the armor bearer, drives his sword into Abimelech. But God allowed that bad stuff to happen to those people because of what they had, how they dishonored Gideon, how they dishonored God by turning their back on God and serving other idols. Whew, so everything Jotham had basically told them in that parable came true. And so that's where we are, guys. That's day number 8. I'm going to ask you to just read. That was Judges 8 and 9. Read those scriptures. There's a lot in it, okay? A lot of drama in this. Unbelievable, right? So, guys, take the time to read it. I'm telling you, ask God to help you to understand, to appreciate, to really enjoy his word. If you're not finding enjoyment in it, ask him to help you to find interest and enjoyment in it. I really enjoy the word. I mean, there's a lot of drama in it. And you look at this, I'm reading Judges, and I'm thinking, wow, I've seen this before in some movie. What was it? Troy, 300. I mean, all these other, like those type of movies that have this type of war going on. I'm like, oh, this is where they get their ideas. There was a lot of drama in the Bible. It's something. I'm enjoying it. Anyway, guys, that's day number 80. Judges 8 through 9. Enjoy your day. God feel blessed day, okay? God bless.